Ancient Egypt. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Spirit School. I so this is rare for me to do back-to-back episodes, consecutive days, but I felt really called. Well, I had no choice to be honest after finding out what I found out to get on here and make an episode um about ancient Egypt because news came out I believe 2 days ago. Yes, 2 days ago, that there is some Italian archaeologists were doing scans around the Sphinx and they found that there is another great Sphinx. Another Sphinx not too far from the one that we know now that's buried under sand. And I had to get on here and make an episode because if y'all don't remember, no, I posted yesterday, I mentioned about how I had a vision of ancient Egypt. But if you follow me on social media, at Genius from BK with a J, at Zengen's Spirit School, at the Hi-Fi Healer, I know there's a ton. Just check the copy on this episode and it's all listed there. But you would know that I shared my vision that I had of ancient Egypt last week, which non coincidentally what is exactly a week before the Sphinx was discovered. Because I had that vision the night going into the spring equinox, and that's when I made the video the next day on TikTok and it's on my YouTube and all that stuff. And then this news came out about a week later. So it's just, I experience stuff like this all the time. And I guess to someone who's spiritually gifted, it's like, not new to us. But there's just some moments that you're just kind of like, whoa, it can also, throw you, it can be a little surprising as well. That this came out after the fact I had the vision. And the thing with my vision is, if you haven't watched my TikTok video, I'll explain to you what I saw. So in this vision, I was literally, it was the construction of what looked like the pyramid. And I was inside the palace. And I was a part of this team who were looking at the pyramid, constructing this pyramid. And the thing is, though, the pyramid, what I was viewing, right, the, I guess, prototype of it, it wasn't physical. It wasn't made out of sand, per se. It was like a holographic image. And I was able to see aerial views of this pyramid and around it, and it looked like scans of sorts. I remember it was like whitish blue scan like lights. You know what I'm talking about? You were to get, if someone were to scan like an object or something like that. Like that's what I was seeing. And we were surveying this little model, and there were people around me, but I remember which I just showed in the video too, that the structure wasn't built all the way to the tippy top like we see in the pyramids now. It was only about maybe halfway. So all I saw was like the steps leading down to the first step within the structure, this prototype. And then on top of the prototype, right, literally on top of the plateau of the pyramid was a face of a pharaoh. So without, in my dream state, the vision that I was getting was the pharaoh wanted his face on the structure. At least that's what I was feeling, because I'm looking at it and the face was on the structure as I was viewing it. So my natural inclination was, all right, he wants to put his face on this, right? And now I'm thinking about it. Mind you, I didn't mention this in the damn video, which I should have. And now I'm going to do this whenever I have visions moving forward. Everything that I pick up was that the face of the pharaoh looked very similar to the Sphinx, meaning that shape, that outline, that whole silhouette with the nose, though. And the face had like black eyeliner around it. I don't know what that face was supposed to represent. For some reason, I'm picking up Tut, King Tut, but um, that was the face that I saw on top of the structure. And now to find out that they found a second Sphinx is just absolutely incredible. Incredible, y'all. And outside of the vision I had, you guys, the timing of this, because I want you to understand something. In my videos, I mentioned the importance of the spring equinox. It is ushering in the redo of ancient Egypt that we all of us here had incarnations in. And the reason why it's a redo is because it was during this time in ancient Egypt when the dark powers, the low vibrational beings, was seizing control of the civilization, keeping us in this system, karmic loop, power, control, greedy agenda. During this time in ancient Egypt, it wasn't just all, gold and structures and, gods and goddesses, all these things. During this time, like high vibrational things going on. There was a lot of dark magic happening, and inside the palace too, the temples. So rituals and things like that, very similar to what you're hearing about these fucking bozo disgusting degenerates with these Epstein files and any other celebrity or person, whatever, that's partaking in any type of heinous crimes that you're seeing in the news and read about. This was all being done during Egypt too, ancient Egypt. And so this is the period of time when that power and control, the masculine energy took hold of the feminine energy here. Because we were operating in a feminine, divine feminine energy on Gaia prior to this takeover. And remember, feminine, masculine has nothing to do with gender. This is about energies. So you're talking about wisdom, spiritual connection. You're talking about nurturing, compassion, caring, right? You're talking about emotions, tapping in with that. Tapping in with nature. Those kind of things, that's all feminine energies. And it flipped because of the powers that are at the time still the reptilians, the lizard beings, low vibrational people that were also operating through a lot of these high priests, high priestesses that are in the temples and the pharaohs. So we are receiving a second chance to do it right this time. And the amazing thing is that we are doing right this time. This is why, y'all, a lot of people are like completely flabbergasted. I'm going to throw that word out, flabbergasted. That there's so much that's been hidden that's now being revealed that it seems almost unbelievable, right? To a lot of skeptics. But it's not. It's the truth. This is how much has been behind the scenes, behind closed doors that we don't know about, we didn't know about, including our spiritual suppression, which was also an agenda during this time of ancient Egypt. This is why a lot of these pharaohs I'm getting it's I'm getting a download, y'all. This is why a lot of these pharaohs, okay, called themselves gods so they can be praised. Not all of them were in this power, controlling, egocentric energy. There were some that were truly spiritually connected and working with the light. But a lot of them were in this low vibrational um, energy, trying to do all the things that people who are in leadership roles shouldn't be doing. Sounds very similar, right? Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. So, as people are mass awakening right now, awakening around, though there's still people that are unawakened, but to the ones that are, we are the ones shifting, has shifted Gaia's energy on this highest timeline to become awakened. And now that we know of all the dirty, disgusting activities, crimes that has been happening, not just with these Epstein files and the children, but from every standpoint these last few years, right? From medical situations, right? What's going on in pharma to the economic system, all that's been hidden. Human rights, too. All that's been hidden is now coming to light, and people were given the option. This is why we also have to experience it, because without knowing the bad, we don't know what is good and the choices between the two. Now that we are given both options, what are we going to do? Do we still want to stay in this bad field of existence, or do we want to put that away for good and operate in positive light field energy? And all of this is what's happening. Everyone is choosing, of course, the light positive side. And it was during this time too, during ancient Egypt, people knew about energies and, um, the universe, and going to get different modalities done to align themselves and reading up on knowledge, like all the things that everyone is doing now. It's literally, y'all, a repeat of ancient Egypt, but modernized during these times. Identical, except that now, instead of capping our spiritual awareness, instead of following suit to the people in positions of power, we are standing up against that, speaking out, demanding change, and also coming together, uniting and saying, nah, fuck that. We're not with this. And it's causing this shift, this change on Gaia. The collapse of the old system completely. It is done. It is a wrap. So getting to this point, this great awakening, was very crucial. This is why a lot of us, star seeds, light workers, all the whatever names you want to use, incarnated here to assist everyone, including Gaia, to get to this point now. And we made it, y'all. And we're here. And we're getting to do ancient Egypt over again. So when I got wind of this news of the Sphinx, first off, shout out to, I forget his name. I think his name's Thomas. He follows my spirit school. He asked me about it. I saw him pop up. It was a comment that popped up my notifications like, well, what about the second Sphinx? I'm like, huh? Second Sphinx? And then he mentioned something about a guy named Bledsoe, which I'll get to in a second. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? And then that was like a day or two ago, literally 2 days ago, matter of fact, when the news came out. I didn't connect. I didn't see anything about the second Sphinx until today. My spirit team, which includes my star fam, had it pop up on my timeline. I was like, oh, huh. And that's when everything started coming to me, rushing to me about the vision that I had when I was in my dream state. And then also what this means with the second Sphinx being discovered at this non coincidental time. Because I'm going to tell y'all what's about to pop off on April 5th next week. Is that the day of Easter, I believe? If I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me just double check that before I. Oh, can I check this really fast? Hold on, let me check my calendar. April. Yes, April 5th, Easter. So, this guy named something Bledsoe, Chris Bledsoe or something? I forget. Something like that. I know his last name is Bledsoe. He said that he received a visitation from someone who he calls the lady, who said that on April 5th, this year on Easter, humanity, Gaia as a whole, is going to receive information that's going to change the course of this planet forever. Something along those lines. Let me actually get what is said. So hold on. I don't want to just want to make sure you hear me clearly right now. Hold up, y'all. Let me pull this up really fast. All right, hold on. Okay, yes. His name was Chris Bledsoe. Is Chris Bledsoe. He says she told him that on Easter, April 5th, which is next Sunday, the star Regulus, a bright beacon in the constellation of Leo, which is normally blue, will appear red on the horizon. And when it is in the direct gaze of the Sphinx in Giza, just before sunrise, a new knowledge will be ushered into the world. Do y'all see what's going on here? Like I always say, there are no coincidences. Everything that's happening is on purpose and aligned. There is nothing to fear. Nothing. We're good to go, y'all. And I'm mentioning this because she mentioned that the Sphinx is involved with this historic day on April 5th. What's so historic about this is the last time the star Regulus was matching up with the Leo constellation directly like this was 26,000 years ago. Okay? It was during this time, 26,000 years ago, when our cosmic brothers and sisters were assisting with the rebuild of Atlantis, which is AKA ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt is just an extension of what Atlantis was. The survivors of the tsunami that took out Atlantis completely traveled to all parts of, different lands. A lot of them traveled to ancient Egypt and they started rebuilding there. And that's when our cosmic brothers and sisters came down to assist with that. Specifically, my star fam, the Lyrans. And you see how this is all connecting? The fact that a second Sphinx was found A week before this historic constellation lineup is going to happen again in the constellation of Leo, which is where a lot of the Lyrans come from. It's just, y'all, I hope you are really sitting and listening to what I'm saying here, because these alignments that happen are so intricately plotted by the universe, straight down to the angles, the mathematics of it all, timing, all based on timing. It was this point in time that everyone was waiting for Gaia to fulfill its prophecy. So I tapped in with my Lyran fam to find out a little more about the second Sphinx and what this universal knowledge, or whatever new knowledge that, what did the person say? Hold on. A new knowledge will be ushered into the world. So what I got was, that's definitely a second Sphinx, because there's something significant about the number 2. It's a number of balance, and something about its vibration is of importance. So with your building, like the Lyrans, when they built monuments like this, they make sure it's in 2. And this Sphinx, just like the Sphinx we all know, holds a lot of sacred ancient knowledge. So the Lyrans, before they left, because they were the first ones to come here to assist with this new rebuild on ancient Egypt, they came and provided all of this knowledge of the universe to the ancient Egyptians that were there at the time, so that they can start brand new again. They also provided advanced technology, which coincides with the vision I had, because I was seeing holographic imagery of this construction of the Great Pyramid, scans and all of that, which also the scanning of this structure, this pyramid with the pharaoh face on it, was also representative of the scans that were going on underneath the grounds, finding the second Sphinx. So it's all interconnected. But with the advanced tech, that's what was being used during this time. They brought it down for them. The Sphinx head, the pharaoh heads on these bodies, those are not the original heads. I think you know that by now. The original heads were lion heads that was built as a honor, a way of showing honor and respect, homage to the Lyrans for coming down to assist them down here, the ancient Egyptians, as well as the Lyrans wanting to leave their mark here as well. So And this, if you don't know, you should also go to my spirit school page. You'll see that the direction in which the Sphinx is facing, along with the pyramid, matches I directly with the Leo constellation. So everything's connected. And my spirit and star. When I say spirit again, spirit team, I'm including my star team. That's all of them in it. But my spirit team had been telling me recently, I've been just picking up on it heavily, that I need to get into my cosmic bag more, aka meaning talk about this stuff, because y'all, a lot of things are about to be revealed. It's about to get real magical here. Magical in the sense that it's just seems unbelievable. Like, it's just something you would perceive to be as magic, but it's the reality of who and what we are here on this planet, and our abilities here, and what's been hidden from us. Everything's about to be revealed, y'all. It's happening bit by bit now, as you can see, including with the second Sphinx, which I'll continue to share more information because there's more I need to share about this. But they're giving it to us slowly, bit by bit, because if they were to drop everything all at once, or everything was to be revealed all at once, when it comes to the truth of life here, can be a bit shocking and cause mass hysteria. So they're taking the time. And that's also to say for our cosmic brothers and sisters as well, to make themselves known, because that's coming down too. That's happening in the next couple years. So there's a lot to be prepared for. This especially is super important, because you might be thinking like, oh, okay, second Sphinx. So what does that mean? Okay, an ode to the Lyrans, yes. But it's what's within the Sphinx. Like I said, I think I said that before. So before the Lyrans went back to their home, their constellation, they left like for good, meaning didn't come back. They did what they had to do. Now it's in the hands of the ancient Egyptians, just like it is for us now. They kept a lot of ancient scriptures, ancient sacred knowledge of the universe, advanced technology hidden beneath the Sphinx. I'm getting like, so Edward Cayce said the right paw. If you don't know who Edward Cayce is, go look him up. He's a prophet of sorts. But he said that in the right paw of the Sphinx, you'll find a lot of information about Atlantis. But what I'm picking up is in this new Sphinx, it's in the left paw. There's information in there as well. I'm also seeing like inside the Sphinx, both Sphinxes, there are chambers, small chambers. And it's not that large as it is in parts of the pyramid, but big enough for people to get through. And I'm not seeing a lot of hieroglyphics in these structures. And I don't know, it's because it's dark in there, I'm seeing it this way, but I'm seeing a lot of black, what appears to be like black granite. They use black granite. I don't know if it's for these specific chambers where this hidden information is. the reason why I'm getting that, it was tucked away so secretively for obvious reasons. And I'm getting that the Lyrians put it away. There were some trusted Egyptians that were there. Um, but it was put away so secretively just in case the Sphinx was raided by tomb raiders, grave diggers, that kind of thing. They couldn't have access to this information. Within the information, there is the history of the Orion Wars. Okay. Orion Wars is among these scrolls. A lot of the Lyran's history, a lot of info on the universe, the mechanics of the universe, you could say. Sorry, y'all. It's like I'm being taken through this. I have my eyes closed, but like, I'm seeing a funnel with a lot of, like in space, a funnel, but a lot of purples, blues. Okay, so it's like, it's knowledge of how the universe came to be, is what I'm getting. Because this hasn't been excavated yet, no idea what it looks like under there. This is just what I'm picking up. This could be how it was created during that time, what I'm seeing. So, I mean, I don't know. We don't know until it's excavated what that looks like beneath there. But there's certainly some sort of crystals used, put in there. They've yet to excavate underneath the Sphinx. Why? Because a lot of Egyptologists, people who hold the key to allowing this to be done, are also in cahoots with the other side and don't want this information to be shared because they know what is under there. So they're finding ways to prevent these excavations from happening, but it's all down there. However, just my Laren fams here with me. They're always here with me, but they're stepping forward because this is about, them and us. Because I also had many incarnations in ancient Egypt, many. I came back many, many times, as I believe I already said this on this podcast, but my star origins are Lyran from the Leo constellation. That's where I originated from, my first incarnations. Here at least. In this sense of the word, here, I guess. In this galaxy. And I was initiate for Sekhmet. Many, many, many times came back for Sekhmet. She's a goddess. You go look her up. And this is why, really knowledgeable when it comes to these energy healings, and why people give me feedback from, these energy and sound healings that, they feel it's very powerful. They can feel it. I don't twist their arm to tell me this. They just naturally come up and tell me, and I'm just like, okay. But anyway, I'm saying that to say that they're here, and they're saying that I lost my train of thought. Yes, so there's information stored in there, and when it was time for humanity to find it, they would find it. And guess what? We are damn near at the time to find this information, what they've kept away, put away for all these years. This is like the starting of, again, more revelation and truths. But that information is going to make, it's going to see the light of day. What I'm also getting is that these two Lyran statues weren't just there to pay homage and like were decorative for the pyramids. So the pyramids were also energy conductors. The pyramids generated a lot of energy for the entire city, literal lights, and different types uses of usage of energy. But also for our cosmic brothers and sisters who would come in and visit, they'd go and charge up at the pyramids. And I don't know if I don't, y'all, it's been so long. I don't know if I mentioned this in an episode on this podcast. I may or may not have. I'm going to repeat it again. But archaeologists also found, I think about a year or two ago, columns beneath the pyramids that went deep down into the ground and looked like spiral staircases. So what was happening was they were using some sort of advanced water system beneath the pyramids. So the waters would go up into the pyramids, out through the top to generate energy. And if you don't know, I mean, as you know or don't know, water is a conductor of energy. So I'm saying this because the two Lyran statues also contributed to these energy conductors. Okay? This is why within the Sphinx, certain crystals were used inside to build the structure of it, to help with the generation of energy, regeneration of energy as well. And also for the Lyrans, they use the energy from the statues, from the pyramids as well, to purify their energy field before they traveled through the portals to get back to their constellation or into higher dimensions. It was some sort of like, it produced certain types of energies that cleared out their system after being here on Gaia to now returning to their home. Not to say it was bringing like germs, you know what I'm saying? You know how to like, you clean your hands before, before you eat, when you get inside home, when you get home from outside and stuff like that, or showers. It's something to that effect, is what I'm getting. I'm getting like homeostasis, provided homeostasis for them before they returned back to where they came from. So, y'all, it's. Hold on. I'm getting it is in our hands now. It is in our hands which direction humanity will go. Everything's cleared now, meaning like all the powers that were at an ET level, because that's who had control of us, They know their time is up. The reptilians in them, they're done. We're talking about a different level right now, different beings who are above the reptilians. They are like, they know they've lost their grip. There's nothing left to hold on to, but they just can't let go. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like the GFL, Cosmic Brothers and Sisters, and everyone who the Lyrians are also on that council are looking at them like, it's over, man. It's time to let go. You know, like there's no way. There's just it's done. So that's just the last bit, but everything else is a wrap, you guys. Now it's on humanity to progress this era into the era of light and really bring Gaia into the future, which is we're supposed to be so way, way further than we are now, spiritually, and also advancement in productivity, tech, all those things. We are so behind from all the spiritual suppression, you guys. Like, I'm talking cavemen type days. That's what we are in comparison to the universe. And no fault at our own. The powers that were their fault because they wanted to continue to keep us in this slave mentality and slavery when it comes to living here. Everything gets funneled back to them. Our hard work, everything we do, stress over money and living and cost and this, that, and the third all goes back to their pockets. So those days are freaking done. And it's still in the middle of crumbling because there's a lot to crumble, but it's already unfolding. It's just the entire structure, so to speak, has to come down, and that's what's in the middle of happening right now. But as this is happening, you're also learning, being given the truths, the knowledge of what's really been happening and how Gaia came to be what it is now. You're seeing that with the Sphinx, the second Sphinx that came out, and everything that's about to pop off too. So, all that is to say, you guys, it's really about to maybe even shock you, even if you're listening to this, if you listen to Spirit Mind podcast or you follow me and stuff, or any other page, person or whatever that's shared this information. Like, it's one thing to hear it, it's another thing to actually experience it. But we are going to experience it, y'all. So stop the limited thinking. We are a lot more powerful than we think we are. And that is not very important to keep in mind. This is why spiritual awakenings are important, and spiritual work and spiritual discipline. Because the reason why Atlantis fell, and also the reason why ancient Egypt became such a dark, energetic community, is because they were ego driven. So I'm saying that because when you hear the word powerful, if you're triggered into thinking, oh my God, like I'm the shit, no one can top me, no one can fuck with me, then you're looking at it wrong. You've got a lot of work to do. Powerful meaning powerful in your essence as a being here among the cosmos, because we are all the same. We are all one. Yes, some of us are more spiritually advanced than others. but no one is above one another in terms of coming together to further the ascension, further the progress, further the commitment to having Gaia become the best Gaia that she can possibly be vibrationally. So just please keep that in mind as well. See if there's anything else I need to share, if they want me to share anything else. I'm just being taken back to inside the Sphinx. I'm seeing jars and like scrolls and stuff. Some large tech. Okay, I'm seeing some tech that can like scan records and things like that. Healing tech as well. The time will come all in due time. This is the beginning. So, this is what I'm being called to share with y'all. So, on that note, you guys, we're at about 45 minutes. Perfect timing. Um, just stay prepared, continue to be aligned because there is a lot more that is going to pop off outside of things like what's going on behind the scenes and also this new Sphinx. Like, this is only leading up to what is to come, which is, honestly, if you're ready to hear this, connecting with our cosmic brothers and sisters face to face type shit. This is where we're headed and it's coming soon. Before I forgot to mention this, just was reminded now to say this. When it comes to, I mentioned the April 5th day, and what Chris Bledsoe, the message that he received from this lady, he calls that lady, that on this day and at that time when the gaze is directly on the Sphinx, that humanity is going to receive new knowledge. And what that is a new stream of consciousness. This day and that moment is going to open a floodgate of high vibrational, upgraded energy that is going to intersect with the consciousness here and your consciousness as well, awakening you even more. You are going to come to realizations lightning fast from this point forward. That can come in the form of your background, your history. I'm not talking about here in this lifetime. Past lives, possibly your star origins. You may start receiving downloads yourself, signs, synchronicities, more vivid dreams. But the level of consciousness is going to be elevated that much more. I'm just getting like, what I'm seeing is like, just, you know how okay, so there's one lane open to whatever destination you're trying to get to, okay? Now, after April 5th, there are going to be 100 different lanes that'll get you to this destination. And each lane is going to teach you and show you so much more about yourself, about the universe, deepen your connection, and tremendously assist with raising your vibration even more, even if your vibration's high right now, even more. The surge of this type of energy that's going to come in, which is translating into more universal knowledge, y'all. The ones that are already awakened, tapped in, and everything, this is only just going to solidify it, like without a doubt, the level of comprehension when it comes to what spirituality is for you. It is going to heighten it, solidify it, like I said, put a stamp on it. There's just no one can tell you otherwise. But I'm seeing like another stream of consciousness that's going to just broaden the scope of where and how and when you can tap into at a large, big, universal scale. The Lyrans are helping with that. I'm getting, okay, higher dimensional information that beings in the sixth or seventh dimension know and have. And that's going to be passed down here to humanity, April 5th. So you might start receiving, again, just epiphanies out of nowhere. So trust it, trust your intuition. I'm also getting spiritual gifts. Okay, spiritual gifts are also going to be opening, blossoming for many people. We all have access to these spiritual gifts. Everyone does, y'all. Some people come here, like myself, with it in advance to help guide and, assist. But everyone has access to this. It is literally like a basic necessity, basic have when it comes to this thing called spirituality. Like, I could compare it to, like, your ABCs, like that's just part of education that you just know, you have to know. And, at a very young age, that's what that is. Spiritual gifts, being able to connect to the higher dimensions of the universe. That is a given. But unfortunately, because we've been so spiritually dumbed down here at every level, when you hear spiritual gifts, psychic abilities, you're like, ooh, me, psychic abilities? Well, yeah, like it's like being able to walk. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say your ABCs, just the basic. That's just the minimum of what you're capable of, what you have access to. So get ready for that. Because again, like we're cavemen in comparison to advancement spiritually and technology wise, to the rest of the galaxy, the universe. But that's changing. And as I've wrapped this up, just to go back to having access to all this universal knowledge, again, it's in the hands of humanity with how we are going to navigate life moving forward with all this spiritual knowledge and not have it go down the route that it went down before. Staying high vibrational, moving with good intention, moving with love and compassion. With this knowledge, y'all, man, I'll tell you something. By the end of the age of Aquarius, which is for 2,000 years, Gaia won't even look nor feel the same in the best way imaginable. So get ready. It's only up from here. I'm up not only vibrationally, but also up in terms of anning up the more information about the truths of our history here, and not humanity's history, Guy's history, all of it. So, all right, y'all. So go ahead and, digest this information, sit and think about it, and just be prepared because it's about to pop off here. I'll catch you on the next episode. Love and light. Peace.